Dr. Anthony Raj. He has pursued his bachelor's, master's, and MPhil in physics. He then went on to pursue his PhD in physics at the University of Madras as well. He then went on to work as a lecturer at Tiruvalluvar Arts and Science College and Idya Engineering College for Women. Since the year 2006, he works as the lecturer and assistant professor at Loyola College, Chennai. With regard to research, he has published several papers in international journals, namely Radio Wave Propagation over Salem, Linear and Non-Linear Optical Properties of Pure and Doped Selenium Malate Single Crystals, and many more. He has also attended several conferences and seminars, namely International Conference on Materials Science and Technology, National Conference on Higher Education at Crossroads held at Loyola College, National Seminar on Crystal Growth 12 held at VIT University, and many more.
Welcome to UGC lecture series, BSc Physics Honors, Mathematical Physics 2, Semester 2, Lecture 15. In this lecture, we are going to see the Hamiltonian formalism. First, introduction about the Hamiltonian formalism, then the Hamiltonian function, then Hamilton's canonical equations of motion, summary. These are all the concepts we are going to discuss in this lecture. Introduction. In the earlier lecture, we learned the development of Lagrangian formalism. We know Lagrange's equation is nothing but d by dt of dou L by dou Qj dot minus dou L by dou Q is equal to 0. This is the Lagrange's equations of motion. To get these Lagrange's equations of motion, first we need to find the Lagrangian of the system. Lagrangian of the system is nothing but L is equal to T minus V, where L is the Lagrangian, T is the kinetic energy of the system, V is the potential energy of the system. Then another important thing about Lagrangian is it involves mostly scalars than Newtonian mechanics. In Newtonian mechanics, vectors are involved. Manipulating vectors is a complex process, but manipulating scalars is an easy process, so that Lagrangian formalism is an easy process to analyze a physics system. Other than Lagrangian, Hamiltonian is a new concept in which the generalized coordinates are given out, only the coordinates and momenta are involved. So, in Lagrangian formalism, the generalized coordinates and generalized velocities with t as a parameter are involved. We now introduce another powerful formulation in which independent variables are the generalized coordinates and the generalized momenta known as Hamilton's formulation. This formulation is an alternative to the Lagrangian formulation, but proved to be more convenient and useful, particularly in dealing with problems of modern physics. Modern physics problems involves more atoms in a molecule, more molecules in an atom, bond length, bond angle. In a molecule, many atoms are there. Those atoms are bound together to form a molecule. Properties of the molecules depends on the bond length, bond angle, like that. Many parameters are involved to understand the molecules. So, in such cases, this Hamilton is very useful. Hence, all the examples can be solved by the Hamiltonian procedure. In this lecture, we will be solving a few examples based on Hamiltonian procedure. First, we will define what is Hamiltonian function. In this lecture, we will define what is Hamiltonian function. The quantity summation over j pj qj dot minus L is the Hamiltonian function. You know Lagrange's function L is equal to T minus V, where T is the kinetic energy, V is the potential energy. In Hamiltonian, the Hamiltonian function is P suffix j, that is momento of the jth particle, and generalized coordinate Qj, q dot j minus L. This is expressed in terms of Q1, Q2, etc. till Qn, then P1, P2, etc. till Pn, T is called the Hamiltonian. This Hamiltonian is denoted by H. Therefore, H is equal to H of Qj, generalized coordinate of the jth particle, then momenta of the jth particle, T. So, Hamiltonian is a function of momentum, time and the generalized coordinate, which is equal to summation over j Qj dot into Pj minus L. This is how the Hamiltonian function is defined. This Hamiltonian function is useful to understand the motion of a system or dynamics of a system. So, first we will derive the Hamiltonian's equations of motion first, then we will apply these Hamiltonian's equations of motion for some simple problem. Hamiltonian's equations of motion. Hamiltonian's canonical equations of motion. So, we know that Hamiltonian H is equal to H of generalized coordinate of the jth particle, P suffix j, momentum of the jth particle, T, which is equal to summation over j Pj, momentum of the jth particle. If you sum this momentum over all the particles, we need to put the symbol summation over j into Qj dot minus L. This is the Hamiltonian of a function. Let us keep this as equation 1. Now, consider this H is equal to H of Qj, generalized coordinate of the jth particle, momentum of the jth particle, T. H is a function of these three. Keep this as equation 2. So, from this equation find dH, that is variation of this Hamiltonian. Variation of this Hamiltonian is obtained from summation over j dou H by dou Pj, that is partial variation of Hamiltonian with respect to the momentum of the jth particle into dPj plus summation over j dou H by dou Qj, that is partial variation of the Hamiltonian with respect to the generalized coordinate of the jth particle dQj plus dou H by dou T into dt. This is how the general variation of Hamiltonian can be obtained. Keep this as equation 3. This equation depicts general variation of Hamiltonian is equal to the partial variation of Hamiltonian with respect to the parameters involved in the Hamiltonian. We know the Hamiltonian is made up of, or Hamiltonian is a function of the generalized coordinate, then momentum and time. So, first find the variation of Hamiltonian with respect to momentum, partial variation of Hamiltonian with respect to generalized coordinate, then partial variation of Hamiltonian with respect to time, then sum all the variations, you will get the total variation of the Hamiltonian. Keep this as equation 3. Now, consider the Hamiltonian general form, Hamiltonian function H is equal to summation over j Pj, momentum of the jth particle, then first derivative of the generalized coordinate minus L. Similarly, we can find dH from this equation, where dH is equal to summation over j Qj dot dpj plus summation over j dq dot j into pj minus dl. So keep this as equation. So from this we need to substitute the values. So the dH variation of Hamiltonian will become dH is equal to summation over j q dot j into dpj plus summation over j into dq dot j into pj minus summation over j dou L by dou qj into dq j d dot j minus dou L by dou t into dt. Keep this as equation 4. So in general the minus dl is written as these two components comes as it is in this equation, qj dot dpj plus summation over j dq dot j pj minus this dl alone is come like this as we wrote the Hamiltonian in the earlier case. Now keep this as equation 4. Now go to the generalized momentum. Let us define the generalized momentum as generalized momentum of the jth particle is equal to dou L by dou q dot j. This is the definition of generalized momentum. Here this is 1. So we got dou L by dou q j. Now by substituting this value in equation 4, equation 4 reduces to dH is equal to summation over j qj dot dpj minus summation over j dou L by dou qj into dqj minus dou L by dou t into dt. This is how equation 4 will reduce after substituting this pj is equal to dou L by dou q dot j. Now comparing the coefficients of dpj comma dqj and dt. Now compare the coefficients of this dpj, dqj and dt from equations 3 and 5. Now keep this as equation 5, 3 and 5. From equations 3 and 5 we got qj dot is equal to dou h by dou pj, then dou L by dou qj is equal to minus dou h by dou qj, then dou L by dou t is equal to minus dou h by dou t. These are all the equations we got. Keep this as equation C. Equation 6. These equations are obtained by comparing the coefficients of dpj, then dqj and dt from equations 3 and 5. Here this is equation 5. Here dpj is this one. So dpj, coefficient of this dpj is qj. Go to equation 3. So this is equation 3. This coefficient of dpj is dou h by dou pj. So dpj qj. So here we got qj is equal to dou h by dou pj. Similarly we got the other terms by comparison. Now from Lagrange's equations of motion we got Pj dot is equal to dou L by dou Qj. This is the thing we got from Lagrange's equations of motion. Here this derivative of the momentum is equal to variation of Lagrangian with respect to the generalized coordinate. This is what this equation tells. We got this from the Lagrange's equations of motion. So this equation reduces to, this equation 6 reduces to the form Qj dot is equal to dou h by dou Pj, and Pj dot is equal to minus dou h by dou Qj. So these are the two equations we got after applying the Lagrange's equations of motion. So these two equations are called as Hamilton's canonical equations of motion. Hamilton's canonical equations of motion. Hamilton's canonical equations of motion. So this says derivative of the generalized coordinate is equal to partial variation of Hamiltonian with respect to momentum of the jth particle. Then derivation of the momentum is equal to negative of the partial variation of Hamiltonian with respect to the generalized coordinate. These are the concepts we obtain from these Hamiltonian's canonical equations of motion. So in this topic we learnt how to derive the Hamiltonian's canonical equations of motion from a Hamilton's function. So the Hamilton function is assumed as h is equal to h of Qj Pj into t, then that is equal to the actual definition of Hamilton's function, summation over j Pj Qj dot minus L. Then we went to the variation of this Hamiltonian. Variation of the Hamiltonian is obtained by summing the partial variation of Hamiltonian with respect to each parameter involved in the Hamiltonian. This is the equation we obtained. After that we went to the exact definition of Hamiltonian function. Then we applied again the variation of Hamiltonian to that function. We got equation 4. Then we went to the definition of momentum of the jth particle in terms of Lagrangian. That gives Pj is equal to dou L by dou Qj. Substituting this, the equation 4 reduces to the form equation 5. Then the comparison of coefficients takes place. This step is very important to get the Hamiltonian's equation. The comparison of coefficients gave Qj dot is equal to dou h by dou Pj, and dou L by dou Qj is equal to minus dou h by dou Qj, and dou L by dou t is equal to minus dou h by dou t. Then we got Pj dot is equal to dou L by dou Qj. Then we got the actual Hamiltonian's canonical equations of motion. These are all the steps. Next, derivation of Hamiltonian's equation of motion from Hamiltonian's principle. In the previous section we obtained the canonical equations of motion. Now from Hamiltonian's principle itself we are going to get the Hamilton's equations of motion. To do that, first we need to find the action of a particle. Action of a particle is the concept we need to assume. In mathematics, action of a particle is given by the equation I is equal to integration between t naught to t1 L dt. This is the action of a particle, definition of action of the particle. Keep this as equation 1. Here L is the Lagrangian of the system. Lagrangian of the system, then Hamiltonian, if Hamiltonian H is a function of the momentum and the generalized coordinate and the time, then by definition we know that H is equal to summation over j pj q dot j minus L is the definition of Hamiltonian. So, to derive the Hamilton's equations of motion from Hamilton's principle, first we took the action of a particle and we went to the definition of the Hamiltonian. Replacing L in equation 1 by equation 2, we have the action in mechanics as I is equal to integration between T0 to T1 L dt is equal to integration between 0 to T0 to T1 into summation over j pj q dot j minus h into dt. So, we obtain the value of L from the definition of Hamiltonian, and we are substituting that in the action of the particle. We got an expression like this. Keep this as equation 3. Now, by Hamilton's principle, go to the Hamilton's principle. This Hamilton's principle says that the small variation in the action of the particle, that is del of the integral between T0 to T1 L dt is equal to 0. This is what this Hamilton's principle says. So, according to Hamilton's principle, we have del of this one. This is L dt. Small variation of this L dt is equal to 0. Substitute that, which gives, according to Hamilton's principle, del of integration between T0 to T1 summation over j, then pj into q dot j minus h into dt is equal to 0. This is the action, variation in action according to Hamilton's principle. Keep this as equation 4. Then this is known as modified Hamilton's principle. Modified Hamilton's principle. Then we have small variation in that Hamilton's principle, integration between T0 to T1 L dt is equal to del of integration between T0 to T1 summation over j into pj q dot j minus h into dt is the small variation. Just to expand this, we will get del of integration between T0 to T1 of summation over j del pj into qj dot plus summation over j pj into del qj dot minus summation over j dou h by dou qj into del qj minus summation over j dou h by dou pj into del pj, variation in the momentum of the jth particle, minus dou h by dou t into del t into dt. So, this is how the modified Hamilton's principle will become after substituting the Hamilton's principle. Since time is fixed along any path, hence change in time along any path is 0. Del t is 0 here. So, del t is equal to 0. So, this component will become 0 here. So, this equation becomes del of integration between t0 to t1 into L dt is equal to integration between t0 to t1 into summation over j into q dot j minus dou h by dou pj into del pj plus summation over j into pj into del dot j minus summation over j into dou h by dou qj into del qj into dt. So, keep this as equation 5. So, this we got this equation from this equation after substituting this del t is equal to 0. So, taking the common terms del pj, here we got this as del pj, and we got substituting the value of h, we got this equation. Now, consider the integral integration between t0 to t1 summation over j into pj del q dot j into dt. So, this integration is equal to integration between t0 to t1 summation over j into pj into d by dt of del qj into dt. So, this integration is changed to this form. So, summation over j pj d by dt of del qj into dt. Now, integrating the other integral on the right hand side by parts, we get the corresponding equation as summation over j integration between t0 to t1 pj del qj dot into dt is equal to summation over j into pj del qj between t0 to t1 minus integration between t0 to t1 summation over j pj p dot j into del qj into dt. So, this is the expression we obtained after integrating each part on the right hand side by the integration formula. Here the integration formula used is integration of u dv, which is equal to uv minus integral of v du. This is the equation we got. By proceeding this derivation, finally we got the Hamiltonian's equation as p dot j dot plus dou h by dou qj is equal to 0, then pj dot is equal to minus dou h by dou qj. This is the Hamilton's equation we got from the Hamilton's principle. So, by this derivation we learnt how to get the Hamilton's equations of motion from the Hamilton's principle. So, in this lecture we learnt the Hamiltonian formulation, then Hamiltonian function. Hamiltonian function is a function of momentum, generalized coordinate and time. Then general form of Hamiltonian is h is equal to dou q by dou t minus L. This is the generalized form of Hamiltonian function. Then we derive the Hamiltonian's canonical equation. Then we derive the Hamilton's equations of motion from Hamilton's principle. These are all the concepts we learnt from this lecture. After listening to this lecture, you can answer the following questions. Define Hamiltonian function, then write Hamilton's canonical equations of motion, derive Hamilton's equation for a simple pendulum. So these are all the questions you can answer after listening to this lecture. Thank you.